Hello, this is Gerald Van. Although I have already explained fire before in another video, it might be good to have a slightly different angle and look at it how the letters of fire really describe the thing what we are describing with it, the fire itself. Every letter has a specific position, like the points that you see there underneath, or a direction, like the arrows that you see in the middle, or a range of viewpoint that you see, let's say, in the continuous move in the background. So all these kinds of focuses are related with the letters, how we see them. There's a systematic order in it, also with numbers, with geometry, and so on, that you can learn to recognize and that you can learn to interpret. And I think the only way is at this point is, okay, you can look at the prepared theory and read it and so on, but you have to have practice, and the videos are about the practice. So let's watch a lot of videos with me while I will tell you how this works in the practical sense. So you have these focuses that are nearby, moving, so it's fixed, moving, or moving the whole time, where it is a bit unclear where it's moving to or where it is at each moment. So it's more description of a condition that is in a constant change. Fire has a couple of letters from that category of change the whole time, changing the whole time. So of course that's how we also recognize and realize fire. So what do we need for it? There are 4 letters that are written down, of which actually 3 of them are pronounced, even though I is pronounced not as I but as I. So let's deal with these things first, with the 3 letters first that are describing the word fire and its conditions and its and how we see it, how we actually see it, because we do not choose letters randomly. We choose them accordingly to what we need to describe. And what do we describe with FIRE is I will explain in the next couple of frames. So what do we have? I already actually from these first 3, all these 4 letters are really related not with the physical realm, the first category, which is focusing upon points, so about really a physical thing that is fixed. Fire is not about fixed things, so it's not described with any of these letters that are describing fixed things, fixed focuses. Here they are about directions and about the frame of how we can measure, how we can realize these changes of directions. So let's go. So that's the only thing we need. So it's in the abstract realm, in the heavens, as a matter of speaking, because if you also want to include old thinking process that divide things in heaven and earth and all in between, it will lie for the biggest part in that heaven association field of association, let's say. So F, what is F? We go from letter to letter. F is in the 3rd category of the directions. The 3rd category of directions is about, it has a certain uncertainty of how things are evolving, and it's more difficult to follow. You have a starting point, the first row of letters. The 2nd category is about all what is moving, and the last category is always about, there's a certain uncertainty, and it's becoming a bit difficult to have a straight answer, a straight result. With F, it's in the 2nd degree of the last category. First one is again starting point, then movement, and then again this last ending direction. Here it is about directions in 3 directions at the same time, in which we try to follow up all kinds of directions, but we try to find the most dominant direction in it. That's how I explain the letter F. We try to find the dominant, and in this way that also vertical direction that we can take out. We can take out as something, okay, here it's certain that something is changing and so on. Within all kinds of a set of directions. And that's also already describing fire well. It's a lot of directions. We try to have a dominant one and follow that one to describe fire with it. Next letter is the E, which is framing our vision. And it's framing our vision in a way that it takes out that focus in which we see something is changed, which is also dominant in a game, but where something is making a difference. I describe it here from F to I, so it starts from directions. That way we also try to find within all these directions the new thing or the new direction or new area. It can be all these kinds of things when we simply follow up the meaningfulness of E. But it's not pronounced as E, it is pronounced as I. I, again, gets us a choice which kind of new thing we are following. A is focusing upon the center area. Again, also associated in a way with a physical area. So it will choose, actually, in all its directions, the realization that it's also about a physical focus. We focus upon something which, to a degree, is physical. It's not pronounced as A, but it's not written as A, it's written as E. So it's more dominant upon what is new there, what is the new area. Fire is a kind of in-between zone between the physical realm and the air, let's say. It is binding the material. It is almost like a plasma state, in-between state. Fire is something really weird in that way, also in a physical sense, but we associate it in, okay, we still consider it as something which has a physical association with the I, Y sound to it. It's also focused upon where does it lead to. It leads to something. That something will be described in the next letter, what that something will be. R is about vibrations, is about connections and making connections to it so that it can continue to be itself. So R can be considered as a vibration. It connects all the in this case it's all the movement, so that's why it's up. And it is connecting these movements with choices, and we try to have our main focus on the most dominant one to define what is R. We connect with this vibration to all of its movement as well, all the directions, and with R also with the result that we want to see it as a certain continuation in how this thing is happening. And the connections of R are always related with making connection to something and making a connection from something, so that it can connect also the material, like it connects oxygen, like it connects the material, and that it changes its state. It doesn't say that it changes its state, but it is producing its effect and its in its end effect as we see it also in that way. That's how I associate these letters. And of course that's also the form of fire, and the form of fire can be seen in it, and also the production of how it produces itself, how it connects itself, can also be seen as a good description with fire without the E already. But E is still there to it as well. We don't pronounce it. The E, so the E is still in the category of of changes, of direction, so on, but it's more about let's focus upon what are the changes, what is changing really, and changing in time. That means at a certain time and within a certain time where I can make my definition from A to B. So we are again seeing to the complete category, the complete frame of focus that we have, the whole range of F, the whole range of E, and the connecting field of what is happening there in R. And that's the whole thing. What connects it actually into a time process and a timed process, how the directions are changing then also all the time. Basically what I just described is actually what fire is, how we see it, how we perceive it, and it is all within these letters available and understandable and comprehensible, and you can translate the letters meanings and the letter positions in its right order into a definition of what is actually also fire. Thanks again for watching. Bye.